Myroslava, as you know, Zelensky's top two rivals, Poroshenko and Medvedchuk, are being indicted or on trial for treason one way or the other. If you look at your friends and family, how are they seeing Zelensky? Are they kind of softening on him, realize he's all we have? Are they kind of holding their nose and backing him? I mean, he is the man of the hour. How are attitudes changing or evolving towards Zelensky that you're seeing among the people you know?
Well, I think in this instance, it's best for me to talk about my own opinion, because I'm not really sure that I should be speaking for other people. I mean, I certainly have a great deal of respect for President Zelensky. We talked in the beginning about the resilience and the stoicism of the Ukrainian people right now in the wake of the crisis. I think that is actually something quite new, not to say that the Ukrainian people are not courageous and stoic and have put up with a lot of crap over the past centuries, but this kind of public call to calm is something that is quite new. And we saw that coming out of the pandemic. He was certainly very good with regular video addresses via his social media channels, telling people kind of the situation and the measures that were being taken. So I think that was a good platform to establish that kind of relationship, that kind of new format, kind of digital Ukraine relationship with the nation. I think are really, really important. I mean, I would say two really important reforms of his that have been game changers. Firstly, the infrastructural projects, Велике будівництво and Велика реставрація. So knitting Ukraine together through a network of new and improved roads. I mean, that has been an absolute game changer. And this is something that no previous administration has not just attempted, but done. I mean, he has progressed a lot along that. And the second one was, of course, the introduction of the app Dia, which is, well, it's the Ukrainian word for action. So it's an app that allows you to do everything from applying for a wedding certificate registration to applying for a driving license, registering births, deaths, really a whole wide of bureaucratic services, which quite often before were enfolded in corruption at the lowest, at the most local lowest level and at the highest level. So introducing this degree of transparency and sort of cutting these corrupt networks in one fell swoop, I think has been a game changer. So I think he's very much a digital president, as well as someone who I think has already shown their mettle as a statesman. I mean, his Munich speech was very much Ukraine showing that, you know, she may be a beauty, but she's going to decide whether or not she's going to, you know, sit at table and feast with her so-called friends, you know, show us the goods, you know, we're happy, we're grateful for all help, but also we need to know where we're at. We're in the gray zone. Yeah. And in terms of going back to the narratives that I kind of outlined in my presentation, you know, the idea that culture no longer equals politics. You may be a Russian speaker, but that does not make you a Russian supporter. Having said that, it's you know, I mean, it's a kind of, you know, it wouldn't be fair to say that no Russian speaker in Ukraine is a Russian supporter. You know, some Russian speakers in Ukraine are Russian supporters, but not all. Certainly far fewer than, you know, in the last years. And I think Zelensky is an example of someone that, looking at their profile, the fact that he comes from a Russian-speaking city, you know, to the east of the country, the fact that he has, you know, cut his teeth in Russian language comedy, the fact that he has had, you know, most of his commercially successful projects were in fact in Russia. You would expect that he would have a much more accommodating attitude towards Russia, but he has not shown that during his presidency. And I think, he represents a lot of Ukrainians who may have been open to, dialogue, but now we don't believe any of Russia's promises. We are much more skeptical, I think, now.
Great. Thank you, Myroslava. A lot of excellent points there. And I agree with you entirely. I think the roads program and the DIA, the digitalization, are real game changers for Ukraine. And participants, the DIA program is basically trying to do what Estonia has been doing, but bring it a generation ahead to creating a digital society and cutting out a lot of the bureaucracy. And Zelensky has been 150% behind that, along with the road program, which is obviously a huge vote getter.